going on, everybody? Welcome back to Serene Madness. Today we're going to do part 2 of my martial arts collection. Basically, I'm doing the old school books that I've collected over the years first, and then I'll get on to other stuff and the other parts of the videos. When I did the last video, part 1, which I'll put the link in the description box below, there was a few books that I was missing and I couldn't find them, and I'm cleaning the house today and I got a lot going on, and I found them. They were staring me right in the face. So they're pretty cool and they're old. So let's get on to it. First we have, and these are all old school Bruce Lee books, and they're put out by Bruce Lee students, well, some of them. And we have, let me make sure they're going in the right direction. Alright, this is the mini book series that was put out by James DeMille, which James DeMille is also one of Bruce Lee's original students when he started teaching, and he did a book series on Wing Chun, and these are really old, and these came out in the 70s, I believe, and there's 3 parts to it. There's volume 1, and then these are all based on philosophies of Bruce Lee stuff. Bruce Lee's style, Jeet Kune Do, is Bruce Lee kind of took like the best parts of like the most prominent martial arts styles of the day, and he kind of like took the best pieces of each style and kind of put them into one style and created Jeet Kune Do. So book 1 he used was one of the styles that he used was Wing Chun Do, and the next one, which is actually volume 2 in the book by James DeMille, was Chai So, which was wrist locks and holds and that kind of thing. So that was another one of the styles that he used. And here's also part 2 of the Wing Chun Do. Yes, part 2 of Wing Chun Do that he used. It's 2 parts. These are pretty cool. They're pretty old. There they are. And what else do I got? He also put out, this is a really, really cool book, and it's very, very rare. These are all first prints, and if you've ever, you may or may not have heard, Bruce Lee had this specific move, this really cool move called the 1-inch power punch, or the 3-inch power punch and the 1-inch power punch. And basically it was a way where you could channel your fist force into punching somebody so hard that you could literally, it only took an inch movement or a 3-inch movement from your fist into the intended target to basically hit him with so much force that you could like literally toss him across the room. And it was very, very powerful. And he put out, James DeMille, one of his Bruce Lee's original students, put out this little book on it. It's thin, and this is also part of his series. And this little booklet is actually hard to find. Well, you can kind of get it in reprints, but here's an original copy of it. And inside of it, it's got a picture of Bruce. And it goes through the entire process on actually how to properly do the 1-inch power punch with the 3-inch power punch. And it's brutal. If you can master it, you can really, really really knock the wind out of somebody if you can master it. I've seen people do it. A couple of my YouTuber friends actually know how to do it, and I've seen them do it, and it's really kind of cool, but it's brutal. The 1-inch and 3-inch Pop Punch by Bruce Lee. Let's see what else I have. Along the way, I've also picked up just some miscellaneous books, and these are some of the older miscellaneous books, because I was all over the map when it came to martial arts. I was so into it. One of them was the Ninja Shuriken Throwing by Sid Campbell. This was put out by Paladin Press, and these are all first prints. And this basically is kind of like a mini Bible on how to throw shurikens and that kind of thing, like throwing stars and spikes and things. And this is kind of like a mini Bible, and it shows you like the proper way to do it. And it's got dust all over it because it's old. So that was that one. Now this one, Sid Campbell the author Sid Campbell, he was a martial artist, and he was also another one of my favorite martial artists back in the 70s and 80s. And he just did some really cool stuff. So he put out another book, and he put out a book also done by Paladin Press, which was a Bali songbook. And this one is The Lethal Art of Filipino Knife Fighting. And it was on knife fighting and the use of Bali song methods. Because I was into the Bali song and shurikens, and I have all that stuff, and I'll show you that in a later video. But it takes you through. It's kind of similar to the it's kind of similar to the Bali song manuals that I showed you in the last video. And it goes all over the place. It's got knife fighting techniques and stances and how to properly hold a knife and stand and that kind of stuff. And attacks and slashes and thrusts and stuff like that. So it goes over basically knife fighting and Bali song use. And that's cool. Another martial artist that I was quite fond of back in the 80s and 70s was Fumio Demura. And he was basically a master of, he used karate as a style, but he was a master of weaponry, of all kinds of weapon styles. And he put out a whole series of the proper use of various weaponry. And another one of my favorite weapons to use, and I still use it to this day, is I usually carry a walking stick on me. So he did a book on the bow staff, the proper use of how to do a bow staff. And there's two different types of staves. Actually, there's three. There's the bow staff, which is roughly 6 feet long. That's how long a bow staff is. It's the long staff, and typically it's made out of waxwood, Chinese waxwood, which is a flexible type of wood. And that's what usually the bow staff is. Then they have what they call a Joe staff, which is a shorter staff, which is usually about 3 feet long, 3 to 4 feet long, which is like what I'm into, which is kind of like a walking stick. And then there's a hand bow, which is usually between 3 to 5 feet long. So there's three different types, and they're all staff or stick weapons. But this one basically goes over the bow staff, which is the long staff, and that's pretty cool too. And this was put out by O'Hara Publications, and on the back there's just a ton of different listings of all these different books that he did. So, for Mario Demura, another awesome dude. You can still get all of these books in reprint. They're all still available. But like I said, all of my books are first prints, which is boss. So, so there was for Mario Demura. Sid Campbell was another one. And then there was of course, there was Bruce Lee, there was Jeff Ramada, there was Danny Inosanto, James DeMille. There was all these old-style martial artists that were prevalent in the 70s, 60s, 70s, and 80s, actually. And those were some of my favorite martial artists, and they were all into weaponry and stuff. So those are some more of my old school books that I have. I have a couple more. I'll do like maybe two or three more videos on my martial arts collection. I will show you some of the weaponry I have. I have miscellaneous stuff, so maybe 2 or 3 more videos. Probably maybe 2 more videos. I'll do the next one. The next one I'll do is I'll probably do my miscellaneous stuff in the next video, and then the last one I'll save the best one for last, which is all the old school weaponry that I have, because that's gonna be cool. Hope you enjoyed that. I'm sorry for the speediness, but I have tons of stuff I gotta do around the house today and errands. So please like, subscribe, and comment. I want to hear your comments. Tell me what's going on. Fine, yes, running in a mad world. Everything supports me. You support me. I appreciate you. I'm out.
I just fucking shot myself.